Okay, today we're taking a closer look at one of the most critical sectors driving both of our economy and energy future, and that's the gas industry. Joining us now, Patrick DeHaan, the head of Petroleum Analysis at GasBuddy. And Patrick, you and I were talking right before we came on, and you're like, "Hey, man, I got some good news." So right at the gate, I just want to know from you. Let's talk about this good news that you're referring to.
Well, at least for now, prices are going down. That's about to accelerate here in the next week. Most of California is going to finally make the transition back to cheaper winter gasoline in a week and a day. So typically cheaper gasoline, winter gasoline, that is cheaper to produce. It's a little easier to make. Average gas price in Bakersfield down about 4 cents in the last week. We're down about 5 cents from a month ago. Price is still a little bit higher than last year. We've had a couple of refinery issues here and there. But the good news is once we make that transition over to cheaper winter gasoline in 8 days, that should bring with it some even lower prices yet. So I know you were talking about there are some stations now in Bakersfield or surrounding areas below $4. Hunt those stations down, but there should be more of them in the weeks ahead. Traditionally, gas prices eventually bottom out between about Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so we could see prices slide another 10 to 30 cents between now and then.
That's fantastic. Yeah, this morning, Mount Vernon and Niles saw it at 391 is where that was sitting. But one of the things you and I talked about last time you joined ARC Bakersfield was these refineries that were closing. And then in between our conversations, we had that explosion at the Chevron refinery in El Segundo near Los Angeles recently.
Yeah.
Has that played a big deal for California's gas?
Well, I anticipated that it would, but actually, because of so many refinery issues over the last couple of months, there was actually additional supply already on its way. And so that refinery issue didn't really impact gasoline so much. It did impact jet fuel a lot more because the unit that caught fire and was shut down was actually a jet fuel producing unit. So there is complexity, right, at these refineries. Everyone sees the flames and they're thinking, oh no, here we go again. But not every refinery issue is created equal. The other good news and possible development to keep an eye on is while California is seeing 2 refineries shut down over the next 6 months, there are a couple companies, Phillips 66, also with Kinder Morgan, trying to potentially bring a pipeline that flows from Texas into California through Las Vegas. That could be a development to watch because while California has been dealing with refinery shutdowns, a potential new pipeline may deliver more gasoline from areas that are cheaper. So keep an eye on that. But for now, most of us are going to be experiencing falling gas prices as we get into fall.
That's interesting. That actually says a lot to me about Texas's financial government. Like they're gonna, financially for them is going to help them out. For us, we could have had that transporting it because California feeds a lot of that to Arizona and Nevada and these other places. Is there something that we can do in the meantime here in California, a smart move that you'd recommend for us to spend less on gas or something?
Well, always shopping around certainly helps. As you mentioned, $3.91 is a lot better when you're filling your tank up compared to the average in Bakersfield, which still sits at about $4.49 a gallon. If you're out for the holidays traveling, if you do end up heading out of the state, check the gas price on both sides of the border. Even if you're in town, if you're traveling south or north, check the GasBuddy app because California, of all states, has the widest differences that you see between station to station. I mean, we're talking about just 50 cents between that $3.91 and the average price we just mentioned. So keep in mind, stations all generally have different prices around the area. You can easily save, as you mentioned, 40 to 60 cents a gallon if you're checking what you're paying before you fill up.
All right, I want to look at the future. Something with the Trump administration right now, the drill, baby, drill. That's been like the motto from the very get-go. There's been talks of getting more oil being pumped out. Do we see, now that we're 8-9 months into this new administration, do we see that actually helping us out in the long run? Because I saw earlier this week, it was almost nationwide $3 a gallon for gas. And I'm not sure if it's because of that or not.
It really isn't. U.S. oil production has gone up modestly in the last year. Here's, I checked my numbers. The national average today is only about 7 cents a gallon lower than last year. And a lot of the reason for that is that OPEC has been producing a lot more. Now, that's a fundamental difference between OPEC and the U.S. as well. A lot of the members of OPEC, countries like Saudi Arabia, Russia, all of those oil companies that operate are state-owned in those countries. Therefore, the government can tell them, hey, produce more or less. in the United States, the fundamental difference is that the president does not have power to tell U.S. oil companies to drill more or less. So while we all hear about drill, baby, drill, it's more of a desire and not a law. In fact, with oil prices declining to their lowest levels since 2021 last week, U.S. oil companies are likely to drill less and produce less. It's kind of like your boss saying, hey, do you want to work overtime at half the pay? Nobody's going to do that. The same thing is true with oil companies. They're not going to want to produce more oil at lower prices. And that's why drill, baby, drill, it's something you hear, but it's noise. And it really isn't impacting oil production today.
Wow, it's really interesting. All right, well, Patrick DeHaan from GasBuddy, man, we really appreciate you. And if people want to learn more, where do they go?
Always check the GasBuddy website or download the GasBuddy app on your iPhone or Android.
Patrick, thank you so much, and look forward to having you back again soon.
Thanks for having me.